Okay. I'm going to start with the accessibility statement. This meeting is accessible to people with disabilities. Microphones or telephones will be used by all speakers. Large print materials are available upon advance request. If you would like either of these accommodations, please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833. The notice of non-discrimination rights and protections to beneficiaries with regard to the federal Title VI non-discrimination protections and the state non-discrimination protections is posted in this meeting room and is available on the Old Colony Planning Council website. Please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833 for more information. Thank you. Call to order, Bill?
Sure. Abington,
Yes, Johnstone.
Avon,
Hello, Rick Jordan.
Rick, Bridgewater,
Shane O'Brien, Town Planner.
thanks, Sean, Shane, Brockton, Duxbury,
Allison Shane, alternate.
thank you. East Bridgewater, Easton,
Greg Swan.
Greg, Halifax, Hanson,
Don Howard from Hanson.
thanks, Don, Hanover, Kingston, Pembroke, Plymouth,
Rick Bossy, Plymouth.
thank you. Plimpton, Stoughton,
Bill Roth, Stoughton.
West Bridgewater, Whitman, MassDOT Office of Transportation Planning, MassDOT District 5. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, it's Christina Mendoza here from MassDOT.
Hi, Christine, thank you. MassDOT District 5,
Hi, everyone. Barbara LaChancia from D5.
Barb, Walk, Massachusetts, Mass Bike, Brockton Area Transit.
Here.
Mike, and Gatra.
Yep, here, Mary Ellen DeFries.
Thank you. All set, John.
Thank you, Bill. Item 2 is public comments. Do we have any? Seeing none, next item is minutes of December 4th, 2025 meeting. Do we have any revisions or comments that need to be made? Seeing none, Bill, can we do a motion to approve? Roll call?
Sure. Abington,
Yes.
Avon,
Yes, approved. Thank you.
Bridgewater,
Yes.
Brockton, Duxbury,
Stan.
East Bridgewater, Easton,
Yes.
Halifax, Hanover, Hanson,
Yes.
Kingston, Pembroke, Plymouth,
Yes.
Plimpton, Stoughton,
Yes.
West Bridgewater, Whitman, Brockton Area Transit,
Yes.
Gatra,
Yes.
MassDOT District 5,
Yes.
MassDOT OTP,
Yes.
Walk, Massachusetts, and Mass Bike.
Thank you, Bill.
Yep.
Next agenda item is number 4, communications.
Yes, that will be me, Mr. Chair. First item on the communications packet is a listening session for the Powder Point Avenue over Duxbury Bay Powder Point Bridge replacement in the town of Duxbury. It will be held Wednesday, February 11th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Duxbury High School cafeteria on Alden Street. For more information and to register for this meeting, please visit the hyperlink. The next item is a culvert and small bridge replacement and training site initiative grant opportunity from the Division of Ecological Restoration. Applicants must create a MyMassGov account through the grant management system before completing their application. Questions must be submitted by February 18th, and responses to questions are anticipated to be published to Combis by February 25th. And applications are due Friday, March 20th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. And there are several upcoming webinars to help introduce applicants to this process. The first two were in January, and I'm sorry, the first three were in January, and the last one, which is Mass Enviro Screen office hours, is Wednesday, February 11th from 3 to 4 p.m. The next item, better utilizing investments to leverage development, build grant program. The department published the fiscal year 26 build notice of funding opportunity. Applications must be submitted online no later than 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 24th, 2026. For more information, please visit the hyperlink in the staff report. The next is Federal Funds and Infrastructure Office. The next Federal Funds Partnership meeting will be held February 24th, 2026 at 2 p.m. A newsletter ahead of that meeting with new grant opportunities, contact information, and other helpful resources will be distributed. To register for this meeting, please visit the hyperlink in the staff report. The next item is a Citizen Planner Training Collaborative Annual Conference. It is an in-person event. Workshops will not be recorded. It will be held at Holy Cross College Hogan Center in Worcester on March 21st, 2026. For more information, please visit the hyperlink in the staff report. The next item is the 2026 MassDOT Transportation Innovation Conference. It will be May 5th and 6th, 2026 at the DCU Center in Worcester. For more information and to register, please visit the hyperlink in the staff report. And that is communications, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sean. Any questions for Sean? Seeing none, we'll move to agenda item number 5, reports. A, Brockton Area Regional Transit Authority, BAT.
Thank you, Chair. As most of you are likely aware, the Healy-Driscoll administration released their proposed budget for the upcoming fiscal year. That budget would allow BAT and GATRA and our other Regional Transit Authority colleagues to sustain our current levels of service, maintain our fare-free program, and apply for grants that would potentially expand service. We now turn our attention to the legislature. BAT met with our delegation Monday, but certainly encourage any members of the JTC, if they feel so inclined and run into a member of the legislature, to pass along their support for regional transit. That's my update.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions for Mike?
I do. Rick Jordan, Town of Avon. We had those complaints about the number of bus stops on West Main Street in Avon near the self-help facility. Was there been any resolution on that?
Yep, we passed along that complaint to our operating company. They're doing a sort of a methodical review of all the bus stops since we're putting up the signs now, and I will make sure they send you a specific response regarding those stops.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
I have another question for Mike. Hi, Mike. So my question is more about safety. It's just like I heard from many members of the community complain about that, we got a lot of snow. And unfortunately, the shelter were full of snow. And also when they need to ride to the bus is full of snow. Is there a possibility at least to clean that area to make that safe for everyone?
Yep, great question. We were at all the snow meetings with the city and are working closely with them to try and get everything cleared as fast as possible. Obviously, the sidewalks throughout the city are still getting cleared, but we'll work with them to make sure that they prioritize our stops. I think they're hearing it from constituents as well in terms of bus access, and we'll make sure that our shelters are clear wherever we can.
Okay, and my follow-up question with that one, do you have a timeline for that?
I will check with DPW and get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions for Mike? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item 5B, Greater Attleboro Taunton Regional Transit Authority, GATRA.
Thank you. I will build on Mike's news, although I am a little more concerned about the governor's budget and the levels of funding. So I really would encourage everyone to talk to the legislature about fully funding the transit authorities for the next year. It is not quite at the same level, and I would hate to have to cut service if we take a cut. So we have been working with our local delegation to see how we can do in the House and the Senate versions. On a positive note, one of the things that came out of the grant program was the Gateway Link, which connects Brockton, Taunton, and Fall River. And I am excited to report that our December numbers blew me away. We had been averaging about 1,100 people a month, and in December, we moved a total of 3,850 people. So clearly the need is there to connect the three gateway cities, and we want to continue to monitor the progress on that route. That's what we have for GATRA.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item 6, old business A, federal fiscal year 2026 to 2030 transportation improvement program tip implementation.
Sir, so there is a tip amendment out on the streets now for public view and comment. Sean, if you just want to go to the next page. Thank you. So this is for the rehabilitation and renovation of the maintenance facility. This is kind of moving funding around within this task. So you can see on your screen, it reduces the amount of RTA cap funding from what was originally $2,150,000. It reduces that down to $700,000, which is a variance of $1,450,000. And then it's going to take $2,150,000 in 5307 funds, add that to that $700,000 in RTA cap funds, and that's going to bring the total project value to $2,850,000. The MPO released this to a 21-day public review and comment period on January 20th, which is currently open. So I'm only saying any questions about this amendment right now, but this is a action item, so I would request that the JTC can take up a roll call vote to approve this amendment after any questions are asked and answered.
Any questions regarding the tip amendment 2?
Just a comment thanking Old Colony Planning Council for their assistance with this, even though it's taking away money from us. We certainly appreciate the support in negotiating with MassDOT.
Thank you, Mike. Should we do a roll call, Bill?
Yep. So this is a vote to approve this amendment as presented. So Abington,
Yes.
Avon,
Yes.
Bridgewater,
Yes.
Brockton,
Yes.
Duxbury, East Bridgewater, Easton,
Yes.
Halifax, Hanover, Hanson,
Yes.
Kingston, Pembroke, Plymouth,
Yes.
Plimpton, Stoughton,
Yes.
West Bridgewater, Whitman, Brockton Area Transit,
Yes.
GATRA,
Yes.
MassDOT District 5,
Yes.
MassDOT OTP,
Yes.
Walk Massachusetts, and Mass Bike. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Bill. Moving on to agenda item number 7, new business A, Old Colony MPO continuing cooperative and comprehensive memorandum of understanding, review and update.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So here today to talk about some of the proposed revisions to this MOU. We reviewed these with the Old Colony MPO back at their January 2026 meeting. And as you all know, the MOU provides the structure and the operating parameters of the Metropolitan Planning Organization. So we're here today to share with you the proposed 5 revisions and hear any comments that you might have so that we can then report back to the MPO at their February 17th meeting. Next slide. Next slide. So what we have done is highlighted the proposed changes in yellow. And the first change here on your screen is simply to add the most recent multi-year federal funding legislation known as the Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act, known as IIJA, and some of you might know it as the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, or BIL. So that's change number 1. Next slide. Change number 2 is to expand the meeting possibilities in terms of where the MPO meets. Right now in the MOU, it just has them meeting in person within the region. So we wanted to expand and provide a remote and or hybrid option. And then item number 3 is clarifying on what MassDOT will be providing in terms of FTA transit planning funds. So there's clarification language there. And then on the next page, this is an outgrowth of a recent Brockton Area Transit Triennial Review conversation where the reviewers were looking for specific language in an MOU that would say what in fact BAT already provides, but they want to see it in writing, is that BAT will provide financial information regarding operations and capital projects in order to form the development of the TIP. This is just for the record, and it's earlier mentioned that BAT already provides that, but this is so it just appears in the MOU. And then last but not least, and perhaps the most exciting change, is to simply update the date from March 2011 to August 21st, 2018. So not anything really major earth-shattering here in changes, but more of a, some operational revisions to bring this into the year 2026. So we're certainly here to hear any comments or any other ideas that the folks on the call might have.
Any questions or comments for Charlie? Charlie, is this an action item?
It might not be a bad idea just to get a read from the Joint Transportation Committee, approving this.
Okay, Bill, can we do roll call?
Sorry about that. Abington,
Yes.
Avon,
Yes.
Bridgewater,
Yes.
Brockton,
Yes.
Duxbury, East Bridgewater, Easton,
Yes.
Halifax, Hanover, Hanson,
Yes.
Kingston, Pembroke, Plymouth,
Yes.
Plimpton, Stoughton,
Yes.
West Bridgewater, Whitman, Brockton Area Transit,
Yes.
Gatra,
Yes.
MassDOT OTP,
Yes.
MassDOT District 5,
Yes.
Walk Massachusetts, and Mass Bike. All set, John.
Thank you, Bill. Moving on to agenda item 7B, federal fiscal year 2027 to 2031 Transportation Improvement Program development.
Thank you, Chair. We just had our tip readiness day. As most of you know, tip readiness day is kind of the first big step before we start developing draft scenarios for the next round of the tip, which would be 2027 through 2031. I am going to go through each community and the projects in those communities and provide what the consensus of those what the consensus of tip readiness day was on those projects. I also have status on 2026 projects as well. So without further ado, so in Abington, intersection improvements at Chestnut Street and Hancock Street. This is on track to be scheduled this year, so that's great shape. In Abington and Brockton, pedestrian and bicycle improvements on Route 123. This is programmed in 2029. This has been flagged as having a moderate amount of risk. So anyway you see yellow on this report, that's kind of where some risk has been identified, but the consensus is to keep it where it is. So the consensus is to keep this in 2029 for now, but for all parties to be aware that there is some risk with this project. Abington, intersection improvements at Route 139 at Chestnut Street and Old Randolph Street. This is programmed in 2027, and that is in good shape for 2027. Intersection improvements at Route 18 and Route 123. This is programmed in 2028, and the consensus is that this is in good shape for 2028. Moving on to Avon, intersection improvements at Route 28 at Harrison Boulevard and East and West Spring Street. This is currently programmed in 2027. This has been flagged as high risk and is being recommended to be moved to 2028. Bridgewater, bridge replacement on Vernon Street over the Taunton River. This is currently programmed in 2029, and consensus is that this is in good shape for 2029. Also, I should have noted at the beginning, so once I go through all these communities, we'll have a chance to ask questions about their specific projects or speak on behalf of their projects. The idea is to just kind of get through this list and then kind of open it up to any comments and questions. So now in Brockton, intersection improvements at Plymouth Street and Center Street, that is scheduled to be advertised this year, and that is on track for advertisement. So that's great news. Intersection improvements and bridge replacement, Summer Street, Grove Street, and Lyman Street. This is programmed in 2027. Some moderate risk has been identified with this project, but consensus was to keep it in 2027. Brockton intersection improvements at Belmont Street, at Pearl Street, and Stonehill Street. This project has been identified as high risk. Was programmed in 2028. It's recommended to be moved to 2029. Duxbury, bridge replacement, the Powder Point Avenue Bridge over Duxbury Bay. Moderate risk has been identified with this project, but consensus is to keep 2027 for now. Duxbury intersection improvements at Route 53 and Franklin Street. This is programmed in 2030, and this is in good shape for 2030. Moving on to East Bridgewater. East Bridgewater intersection improvements at Bedford Street and Highland Street. This is programmed in 2029. Some moderate risk has been identified with this project, but consensus was to keep it in 2029. East Bridgewater, bridge replacement, Pond Street over the Setauket River. This is programmed in 2029 and appears to be in good shape for 2029. Moving on to Easton. So this would be a potentially new project. It is in our universe of projects. This would be intersection improvements at Route 138 at Turnpike Street and Route 138 at Purchase Street. Kind of little triangle there in Easton. This has been a project that's been on our radar for a while. It scores well in the transportation evaluation criteria process and the determination of tip readiness days, that this is potentially a good project for 2031. Hanover, intersection improvements on Route 139 in the Hanover Center and Main Street, Center Street, and Silver Street. This project is currently programmed in 2029, but has been identified as high risk and recommended to move to 2030. Intersection improvements, Columbia Road at Broadway. This is programmed in 2029 and appears to be in good shape right now for 2029. Hanson, corridor improvements on Route 14. Consensus of tip readiness days was that we need a commitment from the town that for that enacted design is progressing on this project before consideration of reprogramming can happen. Moving on to Kingston. Kingston bridge replacement, Smith Lane over Route 3. This is recommended for 2028, appears to be in good shape for 2028. Kingston Duxbury, the ramps from at Route 3A and Route 3. This project was programmed in 2027, currently programmed in 2027. It's been identified as high risk. Recommendation is to move to 2029. Kingston intersection improvements, Route 3A at Summer Street, it's just down the road. This is potential new project. And consensus of tip readiness day was this could be potentially a good project for 2030 or 2031. MassDOT does recommend that 25% design is achieved before this project is considered for programming. So, and one note about these last two projects, so the town is pursuing a build grant to fund the funding of these fund the design of the these two projects. So we'll see if they have any luck getting that design potential design funding money through the build grant. Plymouth, corridor improvements on Route 3A down in Cedarville between Hedges Pond Road and Herring Pond Road. This is potential 2031 project and does appear to be a good project for 2031. Stoughton, the intersection improvements at Canton Street, at School Street, and Summer Street. This is programmed in 2028 and appears to be in good shape for 2028. Also in Stoughton, intersection improvements at Route 27 at Park Street. This is currently programmed in 2029. Consensus was to keep it in 2029, noting that updated design and right-of-way plans are needed, as well as a town meeting vote. In West Bridgewater, bridge replacement of Forest Street Bridge over the Town River. This is programmed in 2028, and this is in good shape for 2028. And then finally, in Whitman, corridor improvements on South Avenue. This is programmed in 2030, and the consensus was that this is in good shape for 2030. So that is going. This is what we currently have for projects in these communities on the tip, with as well as potentially new projects. With that, I'll open it up to questions or comments or statements from communities on any of these projects.
I'm Bill, Rick Bossy, Town Engineer for Plymouth. I'd like to speak in favor of our project down in Cedarville.
Absolutely.
I'd like to speak about the significance of the needed corridor improvements for vehicular and pedestrian travel on Route 3A and abutting intersections of Heron Pond Road, Hedges Pond Road, and Old County Road in the Cedarville Village District. The intersections along Route 3A at Heron Pond Road, Hedges Pond Road, and Old County Road experience heavy congestion and safety issues due to high traffic volumes, inadequate capacity, inefficient traffic control, and a seasonal influx of visitors. Route 3A and Heron Pond Road intersection has failing levels of service during peak demand hours throughout the entire year, which worsen during the summer months and holiday periods. This intersection is also listed in the top 5 for all crashes within the Old Colony MPO. Route 3A at Hedges Pond Road and Old County Road intersection also experiences substantial delays. In addition, this segment of Route 3A between Old County Road's 2 outlets is also among the top 5 for all crashes within the Old Colony MPO. Contributing factors to the congestion and delays include a high level of demand, existing geometry of the roadways, conflicts with left turns, and the high speeds of vehicles traveling on Route 3A. The continued growth in the area is expected to increase congestion and travel delays at both intersections as well. The proposed project will include the installation of either a traffic signal or a roundabout at each intersection, along with improved roadway geometry, which is intended to enhance traffic flow and reduce congestion. The intersection of Route 3A North on-ramps and Heron Pond Road will be evaluated for possible improvements as well. The area also lacks adequate pedestrian and bicycle routes. In alignment with the town's complete street policy, the project will include constructing sidewalks, accessible pedestrian ramps, high visibility crosswalks, and a shared use path for pedestrians and cyclists. The project will create a safer and more efficient environment for walking and biking. Hopefully, this will encourage more people to consider these alternative modes of travel in the future. The residents who participated in the 2024 Cedarville Community Survey identified traffic congestion and safety improvements as top priorities. Addressing these issues collectively is critical to enhancing mobility, improving safety, and supporting economic growth. OCPC also conducted a Cedarville Village traffic study in 2019 that indicated full reconstruction of the intersections and State Road in the area would be optimal. The town has been pursuing improvements to this area for decades and has engaged Greenman Peterson Inc. GPI since 2019 to assist the town in advancing the project through Mass DOT's design process. The project has been directly identified within the town's master plans as being critical to the success of the future economic development within the Cedarville neighborhoods. Plymouth is committed to funding the design of Route 3A corridor improvement project from Hedges Pond Road to Heron Pond Road and southerly to White Cliffs Drive. Town staff is working closely with GPI to advance this project, which will not only provide significant traffic improvements, but will also provide significant safety improvements along this corridor. The design is currently at pre-25% design stage and is advancing forward. We appreciate the support of OCPC and MassDOT has shown for this project and hope we are successful in getting this much needed project programmed in the federal fiscal year 2027 through 2031. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rick. We really appreciate such a thorough and well thought out statement, and that'll definitely go into the official record and be considered in the evaluation process. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Bill.
Any more questions for Bill? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item 7. B, double I, development and timeline and key dates for the tip, Bill?
Should be on 7C now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bill.
No worries.
7C, performance-based planning and performance measures and targets. Report on adoption of performance measures and targets for highway safety.
Yes, sir. So at the last MPO meeting on January 20th, MassDOT came down and presented the statewide targets for PM1, which is safety performance. As most of you know, it is federally required that both the Commonwealth and the metropolitan planning organizations set performance targets in 3 areas. You want, can you just fast forward next slide? Yeah, thank you. So it is federally required that we set targets in 3 performance areas: PM1, which is safety; PM2, which is concerned with keeping the system in a state of good repair; and PM3, which is concerned with keeping the system efficient and travel time. So MassDOT came down January 20th, presented the statewide targets for safety performance, and each MPO has the option of accepting and adopting the statewide targets as their own and working collaboratively with the state to achieve those targets in both the Commonwealth and specifically their own regions, while they can establish their own targets. Most MPOs, including this one, do choose to adopt the statewide targets. Next page. So under PM1, there are 5 categories that safety is measured and reported. So in roadway fatalities, that's recorded in both the total number of fatalities as well as the rate of fatalities. Same with serious injuries, the total number as well as the rate. And with non-motorized or vulnerable road users, it's fatalities and serious injuries are combined, and you only use the total number, as a rate is difficult to determine, as volumes for vulnerable road users are widely variable. Next page, please. So the next 3 graphs kind of show the trend in both the trend in fatalities and serious injuries, as well as establishing the statewide targets. Most of you will recall that during pandemic, not just within the Commonwealth but nationwide, we started to see fatalities and serious injuries begin to increase after years of making progress with reductions. It was believed that several factors were responsible for that increase. But as you can see, the good news is, so look at this particular graph, and the following graphs are the same. So the gray bars are the historical trend, or the historical numbers, I should say. And then the blue bars are the target being set and the projected performance in these categories. So with fatalities, you can see the good news is the last couple gray bars there, it does seem like we peaked in that the temporary spike from pandemic, and kind of starting around the curve now, so starting to go down again. And then next one. Same with serious injuries. We kind of reached the peak there and starting to come down again as well. Yeah, next one. And then finally, for non-motorized fatalities and serious injuries, the last 2 reporting periods, it kind of plateaued, but all analysis indicates that those numbers are starting to come down as well, and that you can see that is reflected in the projections. So MassDOT requested that the MPO either choose to adopt these statewide targets or go forth and set their own. The MPO did choose to adopt them and voted unanimously to adopt them. So next one slide, please. Final slide. And these are those targets that were established. So these targets are all projected to be able to be achieved in the reporting period. And again, we report these every year. So that concludes my presentation on this. Open it up to any questions or comments.
Thank you, Bill. Any questions for Bill? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item 8, other business. Community local technical assistance studies.
Thank you, Chair. Just a couple updates. So last month, we conducted a road safety audit at the intersection of Standish Avenue and Alden Street in Plymouth. The report for that RSA is currently in development. And then we have received a request for a new study, data collection, town of West Bridgewater, to collect traffic counts on Lincoln Street and West Street. And we are scheduling that data collection for early March. And that is my update for the LTA program.
Thank you, Bill. Any questions for Bill? Seeing none, we'll move to agenda item 8B, staff reviews on ENFs, EIRs, and NPCs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we have a couple new projects. First one is Pembroke Wells 2 and 3 water treatment plant. This is an environmental notification form, and this project consists of the construction of a new water treatment plant and site improvements, including paved access roads, 2 on-site lagoons, and stormwater management systems. Next project is in Plymouth, the Plymouth Harbor Access Facility improvements. This is a single environmental impact report, and this project addresses proposed coastal resiliency enhancements to the infrastructure at the Plymouth Harbor boat ramp that's located on Water Street. There will also be improvements to public accessibility of the site by mitigating coastal flood hazards that impact the project area. And we have one certificate. This is for the Long Beach Seawall 7 revetment reconstruction in Plymouth. And the certificate states that this project does not require an environmental impact report. And finally, we just have some public notices. First, for the town of Easton, notice of intent to initiate an ecological restoration project. This is within Borderland State Park. And the goal of this project is to reduce competing woody vegetation and deer browse to enhance Atlantic white cedar tree regeneration and an Atlantic white cedar swamp natural community. Next, for the town of Kingston, notice of application for a 401 water quality certificate and a notice of intent to initiate an ecological restoration project for the town of Kingston. These are both the same project. This is for the Jones River Forge Pond Dam Fish Passage Improvement Project. Next, please. And that project involves installation of a permanent fishway at the dam and dredging of a channel through Forge Pond to restore passage for migratory fish to access important spawning habitat in Silver Lake. The next one is for the town of Plymouth, notice of application and issuance of a draft groundwater discharge permit. This is within the Plymouth Municipal Airport. And this is authorization of discharges to the ground from the on-site wastewater treatment facility located at 246 South Meadow Road in Plymouth. And the last one is for the towns of Duxbury and Plymouth. This is a notice of intent to initiate an ecological restoration project. And this project involves the monitoring and planting of eelgrass at 4 to 8 sites across coastal Mass using seed-based restoration methods. And the project timeline is from October of last year, 2025, through December of 2027. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Kyle. Great jersey, by the way.
Thank you.
Any questions for Kyle? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda 8C, regional concerns and local community transportation issues.
John?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Bruce Hughes.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi, John. Good to see you, man. Just a question, a follow-up question to Charlie Kilmer, and then a couple of compliments to you. Charlie, I noticed, there's been stuff in the paper lately about a bad situation in Brockton. There's been a lot of accidents and fatalities, and I think you responded to my question on the chat that you guys are looking into that. Any further comments on that, please?
Well, as you read in the article, Bruce, speeding was one of the factors in the crashes. So when we talked to the reporter, speed enforcement was one of the recommendations that we obviously came out of the gate with the reporter, and then also considering any type of traffic calming measures. As you know, that area, North Carey Street, we've been coordinating with the city, in particular, the affected ward councilors, Jack Lally and Jeff Thompson. And we're poised and ready to go with a road safety audit if and when it's requested by the Traffic Commission. We don't want to jump the gate on that one, but that's something that we've already started to pull some of the crash data for that area to be in preparation for that. So,
Okay, and just my comments, compliments to my friend John Stone. John, I'm sorry you sold the Ollie snowplow tractor. Anyway, but that's a legend in Abington. But the other two things I've been following the meetings of the committee that's dealing with the construction of the new highway department, fire department headquarters on Center Street. And I'm glad to see that you've got the salt shed up and running and the brine treatment facility and the looks like your building's going to be done before the fire station, but it's good to drive by. I go by there on a regular basis and check on the progress and watch the meetings. I'm sorry we're losing. We've got a new town administrator, so he came in, but then we're losing 3 selectmen, including Kevin Donovan, who's been pretty heavily involved in the in that facility and stuff like that. I don't know when Sean Riley ever sleeps either, but that's another story. But it looks like that's going good. You guys going to be in there before the fire department is, John?
It's a possibility, Bruce, because it's a lower scale building than the fire department. So that's the only reason why we might be able to get in before them.
Yeah, if you folks have time on your hands, you should drive by that. It's a pretty massive project for our little town of Abington. I remember when the new fire station on 18 was built and one in Center Abington, and of course the high school and town hall and all that stuff. But it's great. Community Preservation Act Committee approved getting new toilets, permanent toilets down by the field. So that'll be another thing. I'm sure Kelly told you about that. But great job. And again, I hope Ollie didn't get scrapped. If you guys know what I'm talking about, the town of Abington had like a 1962 Oliver sidewalk plow and no cab, practically cold. An old friend of mine, Paul Crocodile, who worked for the department for a million years, used to drive this thing. And now the machines you have are great. I'm glad that you used the snow blower on them, so I don't have to shovel out my driveway again. And that's the extent of my Abington centric stuff as chair of the Abington Planning Board. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Bruce. Yes, lots going on in Abington, and I'm sure everywhere else. Any more regional concerns or issues?
Yeah, John, can you hear me? Dan Salvucci from Whitman.
Yes, Dan, go ahead.
I just want to apologize to the committee. When I went to get on, I didn't realize that my Zoom app needed to be uploaded and redone. So I missed the first half of the meeting, and I apologize for that.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
We've all been there, Dan. It's happened to us a bunch of times where we go on the meeting and
I
Zoom
know.
wants to do an update.
Right. I messaged Charlie to let him know. I called Charlie to let him know that I had to re-download my app because it was an update or whatever. But anyways, it took a lot longer than I expected. But when it finally came through, I just signed right on and joined the meeting. So I apologize for being late.
No worries.
Thank you. Any other concerns or issues? Seeing none, we'll move to agenda item 9, adjournment. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion, Dan from Whitman.
Thank you, Dan.
Second from Hanson.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
you. All right. Don Howard, you still on?
Yes, I am.